All right, everyone, I'm Yelena. I'm Cognos Analytics Administrator, and you're going to be using Cognos Analytics 12.1 this semester, all right? So the purpose of this session is to help you get started, and I will show you how to access Cognos Analytics, right? So, looking at the chat, okay. So here is the agenda for tonight. I'll show you how to access the environment, how to get started. We're going to talk about the interface. We'll talk about the data set versus data module, data preparation, exploration, and a lot of fun stuff, okay? So, but I'm going to be covering a lot tonight, but please trust me, you will need to watch the recording or part of this recording more than once, okay? It's a lot of information, so try to absorb as much as you can, but then you're gonna get the slides and you'll get the recording. You will need to watch it more than once, okay? So no worries. All right, so what is Cognos Analytics? Well, that's a self-service with intuitive interface. The data was uploaded, it just analyzes it and extracts very useful information without writing any Java or R or Python code. It just supports it supports the visual data exploration, and you can drag and drop data into the canvas, and it shows you the analysis. It's done the analysis for you. And in addition, when you're looking at the visualization, it's going to recommend the related visualizations for you. You may also build interactive dashboards and stories, which we're going to cover in the next session. Yes, there will be another session. Okay. There will be another session in about 4 weeks from now. Okay, and you can see the data that's being visualized by individual visualization. And in general, we're not going to cover reporting in this class, but just know in general that this is possible. All right. Important, please do not attempt to change your password. Please don't, because the whole idea is everybody has the same password. Why? So that way, if you're having issues, me or Oscar, who's also who's a TA, he can both of us can log into your account and see if we can reproduce the issues, right? So we need to be able to access your account. If you change your password, then sorry. Or also for some reason, well, it was the case in the last version. I'm not sure if it's the case in this version, but once the student reset the password, I was unable to reset it back. Okay? Please do not connect to your employer network while you're trying to do the work. Then avoid clicking the browser back button. Remember, deletions cannot be undone. So if I have my data and I create a dashboard from the data, if I delete the data, my dashboard will be broken and there is no way to recover. There is no recycle bin, right? So try to use your personal laptop on your home network. Always save your work and please start early, right? And also before you log out, it's very important. You need to close everything that you have open. And I will show you how to know what you have open. Yes, everybody has access. Everybody has access to Cognos Analytics. So your instructor should have posted an announcement. I created all accounts were ready on Sunday, and I sent the communication to your instructors. Okay, but if you have not received it, no worries. I'm gonna show you the steps right now. So if you go to the classroom, all right, you know how to get to the classroom. You go in the content. When you go to the content, there is a slide bar, right? So here I'm like logged in as a student. I just picked one of the session. Jesus, you click on the content, right? Content. Then here, do you see this here where it's split into units? Then you're gonna expand the virtual lab. See this virtual lab access, and you're gonna see this shortcut for IBM Cognos Analytics. And when you click on it, it should launch, it should take you to the login page. If it does not, well, sometimes it might take you to the browser page where it will ask you to verify that you don't want to synchronize data. There are a couple clicks maybe, but anyway, it should take you to the login page, okay? So, oh, you cannot create an account. You'll need to use the account that I created for you, okay? Please, please, please do not use any account that you may have created. You need to use an account that I created for you, okay? And it's totally different. This is hosted on by university, so that should not interfere, but still you have to do the work on the account that I created, because that sample account from IBM might have different settings. I did the configuration specific for this class, okay? So where will this take you? This will take you to Cognos login page. What you need is your university username. How do you get your university username? All of you have an email that ends with student.umgc.edu, don't you? So the first portion of this email is your username, right? You see this, you have an email that looks like this. You take the first portion, which is before @, and that's gonna be your username. Everybody's password is welcome. Okay, so Cognos password must have an uppercase letter, which I did. I put the first letter in an uppercase. It must contain a special character. Okay, what I did was I put exclamation at the end. It must contain at least one number. So what I did was, if you look at your keyboard, number 3 is right above letter E, right? So I replaced letter E with number 3. So this is how you remember the password. Everybody's password is the same again for the ease of troubleshooting, okay? So, and you know your username now, right? It's not going to be mailed for you, but if you're not sure, you can submit the Salesforce case, and the TA has all of this, has all of the information, okay? Okay, about Mac, it should be working, but I'm not quite, it should be working. There might be some browser settings that you need to play with to be able to be able to use that part of the Leo, right? There might be some setting you need to play with. I need to research, because yes, somebody reported the issue, but that's a Leo issue. It's not Cognos issue. I need to research why it's not doing it. Again, you have to make sure that you have the latest version of the browser, because it's an iframe, okay? That control that you saw, this is displaying it in an iframe. You have to have the latest browser version, right? And please check if you can access anything else in the classroom. Is there another page in the classroom that you are having the same issue with, right? So it's just a way to check, right? So maybe just the browser, because this is working. All right, just know Cognos is not down, it's up, it's working, up and running, okay? So after you log in, this is the page that you're gonna see. This is called the welcome page, and I'm going to go now straight to this is I'm using the demo account. I created an account that I'm gonna use for this demonstration, and it has the same permissions that you do. So what do I see here? First of all, in here, you see the greetings, right? That's my name, that's Elena. Then you see little assistant. This is basically allows you to access, to ask questions about your data, and I'll show you how to use it later. But you can use it, you can also invoke it from here, see? An assistant will be available everywhere in the explorations and the dashboards that you create, okay? All right. Oh, you sign in without syncing your data. Thank you for asking. If it asks you if you want to sync the data, say no. Okay. And all of this, if you land it to, if you land it to the browser page instead of Cognos login screen, you will need to select that you don't want to sync your data. Okay, there's 5 screens to go through. Just do without syncing data, without using existing data, something like that. There are 5 screens, and then you need to agree, something like that. The first time when I logged in, I got it. Some people don't get it, okay? So it depends. But anyways, so here, this is the assistant. Then here, learn, that's a link. It opens up some videos and some interesting stuff that you could look at, right? So what else is here? Notifications, don't worry about. You can also access learning resources just by clicking on this question mark. But keep in mind that the interface, what you see here, could be slightly different from what you see in the guides, because I did some customizations based on what we are doing in this course. Okay. Okay. It's asking more questions. Well, the whole idea is that you don't want to reuse the say no data. All right. You just say no data. Don't use experience. Okay. Just do no and do agreed. Okay. So now, what else do I see here? Well, there was a recent interface change here in this version. I can see the content right on the welcome page. It was not the case on the last version. You can only see recent, but now I can see those are the content tabs. So what is this? There are different types of content. Recent content are the files that I recently have opened, something that I recently either opened or modified. My content, those are my files, the files that only I can access, and an administrator may have some access from an admin view. All right. But nobody else in your class has access to my content. This is your private area where you save your work. Okay, team content, those are the files that are the files that are shared with you. All right, so what is here? There's a lot of pre-installed stuff, like a calendar, sample, template. This was pre-installed. But what I did, I created two custom folders. First folder is walkthrough data. So this one is the data that I'm going to use today for the demonstration purposes, but I know that some of you, when you watch the recording, you may want to follow along. So I have this data for you. Then this one is the data for your assignment. This is a folder. It's called data for 605 assignments. What you will do, this is how you're going to use it. You're going to click here inside the folder. Inside the folder, you see three subfolders, okay? All right. So here it is. So you see these three subfolders. Then see this one, and the first one is the data for your first assignment, insurance.csv. This is the data for your assignment that is due that is due next week, right? Yes. So, but I would recommend doing it as soon as possible. Try to make sure that you can log in and try to make sure that you see files in the team content, okay? So this one is the files that you're going to use for the first assignment, but you're not going to use the data from team content directly. No. All right. What you have to do is you need to copy that data to my content. All the time when you use, well, not all the time, but when you use the data, you cannot use the data in the team content directly. You always have to make a copy, and you need to work from that copy in your content, okay? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna click here and you're gonna select copy to, okay? Copy to. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to my content and you're just gonna copy it to my content. See that? So your permission for the team content is read only, and you cannot create any exploration straight from data that is in team content. You have to make the local copy. So this semester it's enforced. All right, I set the configuration in a way that you cannot use data in the team content to create explorations. You have to make a copy. If some of you may have attempted this course last semester, it was possible, but it crashed the system. So right now, you have to copy the data to my content before you can use it, okay? So the configuration was changed. So you have to do that. So what is it? Now I see two data sets here, right? One I already had, and this one is for your assignment. What you will be doing in your assignment, you will be doing this. You will be clicking here, and you're going to be creating exploration straight. For the first assignment, you'll be creating exploration straight from the data, and I'll discuss the disadvantages of that. But let's see what else is in this interface. Samples, those are some pre-install stuff. And what is favorite? Well, if there is a file that you access often, you can just mark it here. You can check this card to add to favorites. Check, uncheck, see, add, remove. This will add to favorites, all right? So if there is a file that you access often, you want a quick access, so yeah. Okay, I have a question. It says recorded version of this meeting. Yes, you're gonna have it. You will have the recording, but let's first do this meeting, right? So what else is in here? Uh, Here you can specify the filtering option and the sorting option. But this is very interesting. If I specify some filtering option here, if I log out and log back in, it's going to remember what I set up during my last login session. All right, so those two are get saved. You can add subfolder here if you want. Sometimes you will have multiple assignments. You want to create a subfolder per assignment. That's possible, right? This one you can toggle between list view and tile view. I prefer tile view, but we're different. Another thing is here, this is a menu. If you are inside of exploration or something else, this menu is available. This is how you get to the home page, okay? Here, it will show you what you had recently opened. At the moment, I don't have anything recently open. This will just take you to the content. See, that's another way to see content. In this version, you can see content straight on the welcome page, right? But you can also go to here and select content. That's another way, okay? New, this is one way to create your data modules and the data explorations, but this is not the approach I use, because if you do it this way, you will have to specify the data source, right? You will have to specify the data source. I'll show you how I do it. I do it differently. And of course, another way is here, new, and you can create new exploration, story, dashboards. But not my favorite way, but I show you because what works for me might not work for you, right? Or vice versa. So let's go back. That was the welcome page. I know it's a lot, but please, no worries. So this is the open menu that I just showed you, right? Different types of content. I went over that. And remember, you can create subfolders. You can specify the sorting and filtering options, right? Like for example, you can see, if you, once you have a lot of files, you can specify that you want to see only data modules, or you want to see only dashboards, etc. Then if you don't remember what you call the file, but you know that you modified it today, you can select today here, see? You can sort by file type, and you can filter by file type, right? And when you modify it, or you can also sort it. And for the sorting, you can do by name, right? By type, by date when it was modified, and you can choose ascending, descending. All right. So that's that. So far, so good. All right. I showed you where you access the data for your assignments, and these are the team content. And here, this is for the units 3 through 5. You use Nashville housing data. Then for the last few units, you have choices, okay? Okay, all right, so let's see. Oh, you can't log in, then submit. If you can't log in, please submit the ticket. I'll show you where to do that, okay? Yes, you will have the recording, no worries, please. But if you can't log in, then you need to submit the ticket, Salesforce ticket, okay? All right, so Salesforce ticket, you go to the classroom, and under virtual lab, right, it's in here. It says help with Cognos analytics. What you do is you're gonna click on the Salesforce help case, and you're gonna fill out this form. Case type, very important. Case type is virtual lab. Then you're gonna fill out you're a student, right? The case subtype, well, you just select other. The TA is gonna take care of the case subtype for you. Just select other, no worries. And then you can select other, right? You can select other. Okay. Oh wait, I'm sorry, not other. In here you have to select data, my bad. Okay, here you select data analytics, subtype data analytics. And in here, subtype detail other. So in here, very important, data analytics, because if you don't do that, it's gonna go to the wrong TA, okay? Now, program as a graduate, then you're gonna select the course, right? You're gonna put the session, you're gonna put your name, and make sure that you put your correct email. You describe the issue and you may attach the errors. If you have an error, take a screenshot and please attach, okay? And we're gonna work with you because like all accounts have been created, okay? All of them. So, okay, the quiz, Christopher, good question. The quiz is based on insurance data, but in this walkthrough, you need to understand what's going on in order to be able to do the quiz, okay? You need to understand. When will you receive the recording? Well, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna send it to the faculty. Next question is how soon will they post it? I'm not sure, okay? But you will receive, well, see, you need to submit the case. If you're having an issue, you need to submit the Salesforce case, and it will be received and taken care of. You write down the case number. You're gonna get two emails. First email is gonna be the acknowledgement email, and it's gonna have the case number. Write it down, because in case your case got lost, you can you have the case number. We can locate it by the case number. Okay, so please write down the case number after you submit. Okay, so so this is the data for assignments. I showed you where it is, right? And please try to make sure that you understand what I'm trying to show you, okay? All right, so here I'm repeating it again, that you must copy the file to your area, to my content. Do not work from the team content directly. Now you cannot, but last semester, it was a disaster. The students crashed the system and we could not get it to stable. And I looked at the logs and I figured out the issue is you cannot work from file that is stored in the team content directly. You have to make a copy. That's how it is, okay? Now, what we're gonna do today, this is the data that I'm gonna use for demo, and it's also used in videos. There's a playlist for you, okay? So here I have a data about my customers, such as customer ID, the place where the customer lives, right? Their employment status, gender, etc., income. Then I also have an information on the vehicle that the person drives. I have a coverage type information, and I have an information about the car accident. And the whole idea here is that given that, can we try to predict what the total claim amount is, right? So we use this information to estimate the total claim amount. That's the point of the data. If you notice here, do you see that blank? What are those blanks? Missing values, right? We need to handle those missing values, and there are multiple ways to handle it. I'll show you several, all right? But see the data? This data has missing values. Your Nashville housing data will have missing values, all right? Not the data for the first assignment, but the data for the second assignment is going to have missing values, okay? So for the first assignment, you're asked to work from the data. But later on, I tell you the best way is to actually, with experience, the better way to work is to create the data module. Why? Well, both data set and data module can be used to create visualizations, all right? But also for both of them, once you delete the data, all explorations and dashboard stories become permanently damaged. There is no way to fix it. Even if you upload another data with the same name, you can't fix it, right? But see, here is the difference. What is a data set? It's just Microsoft Excel or CSV file that was uploaded. You cannot make any customizations. You cannot add calculations. You cannot hide the columns, etc. You cannot preview your data, right? You just create it and that's it. Or you can also extract the data from the data module into the data set, okay? But data modules are more powerful. Why? You can create calculations and you can add hierarchies called navigation paths. You can hide certain fields. You can also add the calculations, right? And data module in general can be used as a source of another data module. You may preview the data directly, right? Well, like for example, suppose that I have multiple dashboards, multiple explorations that use the same data, and I want to have certain calculation. Am I going to recreate that calculation multiple times each time I have a new dashboard? Of course not. I'm going to create that calculations in data module, and I'm going to make it reusable, right? So, and you can also hide certain data. Like for example, if your data set has social security number, you can make it hidden, right? Same thing, if it has names, address, or maybe you can do want to delete the data if you're using it as part of another calculation, right? Maybe you just want to hide it. So that's possible if you use the data module. You can also change the column properties, and I'll show you, okay? So now let's create the data module. We're gonna use that data, again, my content, right? Let me see the questions again. Quiz 2 is on insurance data, yes. But again, you need to understand what I'm talking about now because you need to apply it to insurance data. So see that this is claims and weather data. What I'll do here, well, if I showed you earlier, you can go here, new, and select data module from here. You can do it. But then if you do it this way, you will have to specify the data set. But in this case, I'm sure, I'm positive that this is a data set that I want to use, right? So I'm just gonna click on this actions menu of this data set and I go create data module. See this? I know which data set I'm using and I just can do that. If you just do create new data module, you will have to specify the data set. And once you have more files, you might not remember where you saved it, right? So I like it this way, okay? I'm gonna go create data module. Now what? This is a new data module interface. What is this? These are the columns in your data, right? Each column has a different icon and the icon represents the column data type, okay? So let's see. Yes, so you have to make a copy, that's correct. You make a copy of the data from team content, yes. And this semester you will not be able to create the data module from the data that is not in my content. I blocked it, so the data must be always in my content. You can only create the data module from data that is in my content, okay? Because if you could create it from the team content, it leads to system failure. So no, I blocked it for this semester, no worries. Okay, so those are what? The columns. Each column, each icon represents different column data type, right? So this one, it shows me that I used this spreadsheet, this file, data file, as a source to create this data module. Okay, so I can click here, grid, see this, I preview my data. But if you do a quick comparison on the other slides that I showed you, right, you saw there was no row ID column. What is this? This is a hidden column that Cognos added. It's just a row number, okay? This is a hidden, that's why it's grayed out. If it's hidden, it means it's in data module. It can be used in calculations inside data module, but it's not visible to users in visualizations. Also, what is this? Do you remember I showed you that there are blank values? So that means null. Null means missing value. Missing value is represented as nulls, right? So I have my column names here, column names here, right? For each column name, I can change the properties. In this case, I'm gonna go to total claim amount and I'm gonna go click on properties. Let's look at the properties of total claim amount. You see, this is a label, right? This is how the column name is displayed for a user. Expression, this tells me which column in my file is being read in here. See that this is a total claim amount. That's a file, that's a column in the spreadsheet, in the Excel file that is being read into total claim amount. See this, it's linked to the this file, see? So if I delete that file, this data module will become invalid. Remember that, okay? Please remember that you cannot delete the file. You always save this to the my content. Yes, 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 yes. Otherwise, you know, if I did not block that, the system would be crashed every 5 minutes. So trust me, we went through it and I looked at the logs and I figured out why. Okay, so now what is this? It's a usage, right? Usage measure. Here, this is how the column is being summarized. So if I want to look at the total claim amount by the state, I don't want to see the sum of all claims in the state. Instead, what I want to do is I want to look at the average, right? So I'm going to change this to average, all right? So this is one of the properties. This is a data type, represents, well, if it's a location, that would have picked up, but this is not a location. Okay, no worries about references. You can add description if you want. And a screen tip, this is when you hover over the column in visualizations, this is a text that will display, but don't worry about this. Okay, don't worry about this part, okay? So those are the properties, and in some cases you need to edit the expression, but you need to be careful, and I'll show you why, okay? So what you could also do, what you should do, and I have not done it, and I've been reminding people all the time, you need to save all your work. So you click on a save, and let's save it to where? My content. See, this is grayed out. You cannot save anything to the team content. It's blocked. It has always been blocked. So you go to my content, and I'm gonna save these claims and weather. Claims and weather. If I could type data modules, it remembers my past typing. See this is gonna go to my content. If I select team content, see this, the button is grayed out because nobody has permission to write to the team content. Your account has the same permissions as my demo account, okay? So I click on my content and I'm gonna save it. Now, what is this? This is like a file, it's a switcher. This tells you what you have open at a moment. You have that content open, right? So I can switch here, this is the content, you have this open, and you have this file open, okay? When you make a change to the file, any change, you will see the asterisk next to the file name. If you see the asterisk next to the file name, it means that you have not saved your latest change. Okay? So you have here some undo redo, and I believe you can undo up to the last time you reopen the file. Okay? What's next is this, you can change the other properties here is that you can see, that's another way to open properties. Right click on the column and select properties. This is, you can choose, in this case, it's hidden from users and you can make it show to users, right? You can show hide the columns, right? So let's see, I think I have another question here. Oh no, there is no autosave. You have to save it, correct. There is no autosave. No, 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 no. You have to physically save it. I wish there was, but unfortunately, no. You do have to save, see? Save. Click on floppy disk to save. Okay? So let's go back to the slide. This is just, oops, this is just the interface. Oops, what's going on? Okay, now, this is the interface of data module. This is how to save the data module, okay? This is going through the properties, right? Label, usage, aggregate. Aggregate, remember this is important, shows how to summarize. I made the change in data module, right? Because I always want to look at the average total claim amount. I don't care about the sum of all claims in the state. I want to see the average. You probably want to make the same change for the income, right? You want to look at the average income, not the total of all incomes. If you don't do it here, you're going to be doing it in every dashboard and every exploration file or at the individual visualizations, okay? What is data preparation? Data preparation involves preparing data for analysis. It could be adding filters, hiding columns from the view, editing column properties, handling missing values, handling outliers such as unusually high or unusually low values, adding calculations. The calculation could be the basic one. It could be the concatenation of multiple fields, or it could be via expression editor. I like to use the expression editor. You can add the data groups, navigation path, okay? And remember this, that Cognos Analytics does not automatically prepare the data for most of the visualizations, okay? It does not, it's not gonna do it. So you have to do that, right? For most of the visualizations, it does not automatically prepare data, except for driver analysis, all right? For driver analysis, it might do some of the preparation, but for most of the visualizations that you do, it does not prepare the data for you, okay? Well, this one is just how to hide the column, right? You just toggle that, show hide. So, and remember the difference between delete. Delete will completely remove the column from data module. You won't be able to use that column in any calculations, right? But if you hide it, you can use it in calculations inside data module, but it won't be visible to users for analysis. Okay? Now, adding filters. The filter specifies a condition that must be met for the data to stay, for the data row to stay. To define the filter, we're going to build the expression. Okay? So remember this. There are two types of filters. First one is embedded filter. So when I define a filter, the records that don't meet the condition will be filtered out right away. There is a selectable filter which you define, but the data will not be filtered out right away. You can apply that filter as needed. Like for example, if you want to look at the small claim type, right, for personal vehicle, small claims for personal vehicle in multiple visualizations, you can define that filter inside your data module and then just reuse it in your visualizations, okay? So now here I spelled out the steps for you, but we're gonna create an embedded filter to filter out the rows that are missing the, we're going to filter out the rows that are missing effective to date, coverage effective to date, because just by looking through the data, I noticed that if effective to date is not specified, it's missing also data in other columns. All right. Yes, you will have the slides. No worries. No worries, no worries. You're going to have the slides. I'm going to give it to instructors, and I don't have an issue with emailing it to everybody as well. I have no issues with emailing, but what I'll do is I'm going to give it to the faculty, and faculty will post the announcement. Okay? So now we're going to create a filter. So how do we do that? I click here, and I'm going to select scissors. I'm going to do this one, manage filters here. Manage filters. Now it opened up here, filters. What I want to do is instead of selecting a column, I want to use expression editor. Okay. Now I'm going to click on add filter. What it does, it opens up expression editor. And very important, before you save the expression, you need to validate it. Because if your expression is invalid, your data module is going to be invalid and you're going to be in trouble, right? We don't want to crash the system. So, okay, so what else you see here? Those are the columns in your data. Here are the available functions that you can use, available operators, right? Available summaries, such as aggregation, count, etc. And available constructs that are like if, then, etc., right? So my condition is effective to date. So what I'll do is I'm gonna find my column, and if I don't see the column right away, I can do the search here, right? Effective to date. I drag and drop it here, right? Then what I can do, clear it. I'm gonna go here to the functions, and this one is an operator, and this is an operator called not missing, right? See that? I can go here. Is not missing. Or what else you could do is if you know the function name, you can just type it and it will pick up. Okay. So I found this effective to date is not missing. Very important. What you need to do next is, first of all, you have to put the descriptive name for your filter. Effective to date is not missing, right? You have to put the descriptive filter name, because what if I have multiple filters, right? So now, what we're gonna do now, very, 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 very important, you have to preview, you have to validate. So you want to make sure you see this message, the expression is valid. If you don't see the expression is valid message, we need to fix the error. But by all means, please do not save, do not save the invalid expressions. Always make sure you see the expression is valid, okay? Please, otherwise your data module will become corrupted and it's very difficult, if not possible, to fix it. So please do this, please validate all the time. All right, so it's valid. I'm ready to save. So I'm gonna click on OK. What will that do? You're gonna see that the data has filter defined. And at any time, if I want to change, right, if I go to there are several ways to access it. I can go to properties and click on filters tab. It's going to be here. See this? And you can do view and edit filter. At any time you want to change the definition, or if you want to delete it, it's here for you too. That option is here. So that's properties. And that's a filter that get applied. So if I was going to go through effective due date column, I should not see any more rows that missing effective due date value. That's what basically I did. So the data where effective due date is missing won't be available for analysis. That's what I was trying to say. That means embedded. There are also another type of filter called selectable that does not get applied right away, but it will be applied when you choose to apply it. Okay, are we gonna get this? But keep in mind that there could be slight differences in how I can look like. I have not quite compared because these screenshots were taken for version 12, but it should be still okay. There are slight differences, not much. Okay, so here I want to say that vehicle size contains small, right? So how do I do this? How do I create a selectable filter? Well, let's see. Oops, what is this? Which I thought the filter said. Yes, that's a first filter. I created effective due date is not missing. That's correct. That's correct. I created it effective due date is not missing. So basically that means that all rows that are missing effective due date are gone from analysis, right? They won't be available in analysis, right? So now that was an embedded filter. So now you don't have any rows that have missing effective due date. It applied right away. Now I'm going to create another filter, different type of filter. It's a different type of filter. So I'm going to click here, and now I'm going to click on here. right? There are multiple ways to do it. I can do it from here. I'm gonna click on filter, and here I can say small claim. Oh, what? Personal claim something. Let me see how I named it here. Okay, so we're creating this filter, and I named it as a personal personal policy for small vehicle. Okay, personal policy for policy for see if I could spell for car. Let's do it this way for small car. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want, as the filter can have two conditions, right? And condition. So I want to say policy type contains personal. So what I'm gonna do is here, I'm gonna drag and drop. I'm gonna find my policy type column, and I'm gonna drag and drop here, okay? Policy type. Oh, assignments, clear step for each assignments. Well, we'll see, depends. Let's take care of this assignment first. Let's take care of the walkthrough because I'm showing you, and there are also videos. I'm gonna try to help you as much as I can. One thing that I cannot do it is I cannot do it for you, because then your instructor is gonna go submit the Salesforce ticket to add Elena to your gradebook, right? Because if I do it for you, I'm gonna be graded, right? So where things fair, right? So policy type, this one is a string function, so we have to use policy type. See this type policy type contains. You have to use the contains function. See this contains. If I type it, it picks it up, right? And then this is gonna be a case sensitive. So you have to type what? Personal, right? I want to say that it contains personal, right? Then what? And right? And what's end? Policy type contains personal, and then it's a car size, right? See here, oh, vehicle size contains small. So where is the vehicle size? We have to find the column, right? It's in here, vehicle size contains small, right? Small. Oh, and also nice thing about it is that, well, first of all, you have to close this code. Nice thing about it is this. See this? If you do this, it shows you the values. This is only for the categorical columns. It shows you the values. See? So I want to check it to make sure that I spelled it right. Make sure that I spelled the values right. To make sure that my capitalization matches, right? It is a little bit complicated. Functions may or may not be case sensitive, but the comparison, the string comparison are case sensitive. See that? But I would copy and paste directly because see what you want to make sure is this. What you have to do is you have to validate, right? You have to click on validate. If something is not valid, you cannot save it. Well, it will let you save, but you're gonna make the data module invalid. So you need to make sure that you save, right? Always say, always validate. You don't want to be saving invalid expressions. I had students crashing the system last semester, so now I'm being more careful. All right, so here, policy type contains personal, vehicle size contains small. You can also do, this is a validate, and this is, you can learn more information. If you click on I, it's just gonna show you the information about the string comparison, right? What you can also do, this one is prettify. I like how it's, oh, see, it puts it in the uppercase. So it's the case does not matter, but just for readability, Cognos puts it in the uppercase for me when I click on prettify, okay? So now I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna go here, click OK, that will save my filter expression. But If you look through the data, it did not get filtered. Why? Because I created what type of filter? It's a selectable filter. So in my visualizations, I can choose when I want to use it, all right? So it's not gonna filter, it's not gonna apply to the data immediately. I have to specify when I want to use it, okay? Now, we can filter rows with missing values. Alternatively, we can fill the missing values with the average of the column. So how do you do it? Well, you do it this way. I want to do, let's say, my income column. My income column has some missing values. So I'm gonna go to properties, and income is a numeric column, right? Because I have a video where I'm showing you an example for the text column where I believe it's an oxygen type, and I'm setting it to other if oxygen type is not specified. So there is a video on that. But here, this is a numeric column. I know that it's not the best solution because it may make data skewed, right? If you set to the overall column average, but I just want to show you that it's possible. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on view or edit expression, but in here you have to be careful because see this expression, it tells you which column is being read from original file. What you're gonna do in here, first of all, you have to put an if else statement, right? Because the whole idea is if income is missing, then you take an average. Otherwise, keep it as is, right? So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go to my construct. I want to make sure that I keep the correct syntax, right? If then. And I'm just gonna exactly copy the column name here. So what is the condition? If the condition is this, if income is missing, right? See, it picked up the function. If it's missing, then I want to take an average. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep it as is, right? Expression. Otherwise, I keep it as is. So how do I do average? I'm gonna type average, right? See this, it found it for me. And what is the average income, right? I just copied the column name. See this? So now what we need to do, am I ready to save this? No, right? What I have to do is I need to validate, right? Always validate. So I'm gonna go here and validate this, okay? That's it. This is valid, so I can save this expression, okay? Okay. Can we delete? Well, see, the thing is, what you have to do, the whole idea is to say this. If income is missing, then you want to take an average. Otherwise, keep it as is, okay? You can type it. You can type it, but see, the thing is, you want to make sure that your expression is valid, okay? I use the construct just to make sure that I do not break anything, all right? And also you can do this thing here prettify to make it look more readable, okay? I hope I answered the question. Because see this, I like to use this construct to make sure that I'm using the correct syntax, because if you're not using the correct syntax, you're gonna crash your account. No, seriously, if you save invalid data module, there is a problem. Okay, so I'm gonna save here. But what happens if you save the invalid expression? Well, at this point, it's still not the end of the world because you have this undo here, right? You can undo at this point. Before you close the file, you can undo. All right, and what is this? Do you see this asterisk here? I have not saved my latest change, so I better do. Because Elena has been telling students to save their changes, but if she's saving her changes, no, she has to save her change now, right? So this is just how to fill the mission value with this. What is the calculations? Now we're going to talk about the calculations. I know it's a lot to talk about, but please, please trust me, you will get it. You will watch this recording more than once. A calculation, it creates a new column, okay? It may contain the predefined function. It may be the summary, right? That returns a single value. There are two types of calculations, and I'll show you. But remember this, if you create the calculated column in a data module, it will be available in your explorations. If you create it only in the exploration file, then it won't be available anywhere else outside that exploration file. But what if it's a calculation that I want to use over and over again? I'm going to save myself some time and I'm going to add that calculation in the data module. Okay, so I'm going to go and create my first calculation in the data module. I have something like a monthly premium. Let's find a monthly premium. And suppose that I want to have another column called annual premium, right? What I could also do is I can just do this, create calculations. I can just do it this way. I don't like to do this. I like to use the calculation editor. So it picked up that I want to use this column, monthly premium author, and I'm just gonna say multiplied by 12, and I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna put it annual, okay? Annual premium author, delete this plus, okay? Now I'm gonna validate it. I know it looks like a simple expression, but get into a habit of validating. Do not save it until you see that the expression is valid, okay? Please do yourself a favor. Do not repeat the mistake from last class. Okay, I'm gonna click on OK here. All right, and what did it do? It added the column to the front here. It's called annual premium info, okay? The calculation is a calculated column. Yes, again, the slides will be available. Everything, the slides, right? The recording, yes. I know this is a long presentation and it's difficult to absorb everything. So, but what you could also do is see this clock here. It's in a different time zone. The clock shows different time zone, but it does not matter. You may write down if there is something that you might find that you will need to watch over and over. You can write down the time that shows on the clock here. That may help too. Okay, so this is a calculation, right? You use the calculation editor. And if you watch my videos, I showed you two types of calculations. One is embedded. What does embedded calculation do is you store the value in each row. And one is standalone. The value is stored only once, okay? Okay? It's going so fast. What's going so fast? Well, don't worry about it going too fast. It's a lot of information, but you will have the recording and the slides. And you also have sets of videos that are recorded where I break down by topic, okay? So I'm trying my best here, but it's a lot of information to cover, okay? So please, just try to absorb what you can, okay? I know the first time you see it, it's a little bit, but when you look at it again, when you start playing with this, you're gonna get more comfortable. So you use the editor, right? And this is just written here. This is the steps on how to create embedded calculation. Embedded calculation means that the values are stored in each row, okay? And there's also standalone calculation. Like for example, suppose that I wanted to store the average income, right? I wanted to store the average income, but am I going to store it with every row? No, right? So then you're gonna go click here and you're gonna do the calculation here. Then you're gonna put average, right? Average, average. And you're gonna grab something like a income column here, right? Income. What does it do? Why did it do it this way? Well, this one, we are in data module. What is this? This data module is using this Excel file, and this is just nothing but the tab name in Excel file. This is a tab name, and this is a column name in that Excel file. So I'm taking the average income, and I'm going to validate it. And here I'm just gonna say tuition average, average, average income, right? So now I validated it and I'm gonna save it. So standalone calculation is a single value that is stored only once. It's gonna be stored, it's here, and just stored once, okay? That's what I did. That's all. This is just the single value and it's stored once. Because if I store it multiple times, right, with each row, I'm gonna be wasting my space. This is just stored only once. Embedded, the value is stored in each row. Standalone, it's just one calculation is stored once. Okay? Makes sense? I hope it does. All right. Next topic is a data group. Well, let's look at the example that is more familiar to you. Your grade. When you receive the assignment grade, you're getting like 85, 91, 95, right? You're getting the score. But when your instructor submits the grades to the academic system, they're not going to submit the actual score that you get. They're going to submit letter grades, A, B, C, right? So this is the beginning. All the grade from 90 to 100 are an A, from 80 to 89.99999 is a B, right? So that's what Binion means. And there is a Binion for the categorical values, and there is also the Binion for numeric values, right? So for numeric, like for example, I'm using it, which column am I using in example? I'm using number of claims, something like that. I'm gonna try to use the same column, number of policies. I'm using number of policies to be in. So if I go here, number of policies here, and what I'll do is I'm gonna do create data group, and bang, by default, for numeric column, it's gonna do the 5 groups. So see this? So here it says if it's 8 or above, right? 8 or above, 6 to 8, so that's 6 and 7. This one is 5, right? 3 or 4 and less than 3. Why would you do it? Well, sometimes, for example, suppose that sometimes I have somebody with um, 20 policies, right? So I probably want to kind of like group them together with 8 or above. It kind of like helps control your data, let's say. What if I have somebody with 100? See? So I'm probably gonna put them with 8 or above. Right? You're gonna look if your data is skewed. Sometimes you want to do this. Okay. So you did that, and see this, you can also, this is a 5 groups, you can change the number of groups, and you can also, you can change the group boundaries if you want to, group borders. So I'm just gonna go and save it as is, number of policies group, I'm gonna go create it. Okay, that's it. So for numeric, it's simpler, right? It predefines the boundaries for you, and see this is a what label, right? It added this to the front. But for categorical, it's a little bit more complicated because you have to create the groups by itself. And if I go to here, that's for the numeric, right? For the numeric, this is a categorical. I'm gonna use here the policy. I'm gonna use the same column as in the screenshot. So policy, again, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna do create data group. So what's happening in here, I have a lot of values, and suppose that I want to bin some of those values. Here, you see here, we have a list of values, but no groups are predefined. You have to create your own group. And suppose that I want to say something like corporate, right? Corporate. Then, see, this is a group, and I want to add values to it. Look what I'm doing it. I can do one at a time, or I can select several, and I can click on the arrow, right? New group. and I'm going to rename this personal, and I'm going to add those values to personal, shift, add, and another one is a special, right? It's a group, I'm going to name it a special, okay? So this is special, and I'm going to select all of this and move it here. See this? So this is the groups for the categorical. And I believe I have a video for this that shows you more details. And I use this data set for the videos, okay? So there we go. Let's see the next topic. I believe there are several more topics before we go to exploration. Navigation path. Okay. So some data is hierarchical in nature. Like for example, let's look at the examples that might be familiar to you. I want to look at the average grade for assignment 1, overall average, right? Then let's see, I want to look further. I want to look for the average grade for assignment 1 of data 605. Then I want to look at the average grade by the session. So see what I'm saying? I'm kind of like drilling in, right? You can do something similar here, but you have to first define the structure, okay? Like in this case, I'll be using it in explorations to see the number of customers. Okay, so what you do is you create this something called the navigation path, and you're gonna go, this one is a navigation path. And what you'll do is you're gonna find the column, and I'm using the state. Oops. See, if I don't see it right away, I can do this. I can do the search. Yes, I want to do the state or state code, whatever that is. State. Then within the state, I want to do the location type. Location code, okay? So I want to show the count by state, then within the state, I want to break further down by location code. It will make sense when I actually use it for visualization. And it's gonna just name it like this for me, see? State location code. And we're gonna use it in visualizations. It will make more sense. I'm gonna click OK right now, and I'm gonna save this stuff right now. Save, okay? Oh, okay. So, but I promise next session will not be as long. This first session is because it's a lot of information to cover, okay? So this is a data module. We talked about the data preparation. Now we're gonna jump to exploration. And for this one, in this example, I'm going to use the data module for the exploration. First of all, let's close this. Okay. See this? This is a data module. And also, see this isn't my content. But if I'm gonna go to my home page, see this in my home page, I have this recent tab. This got added to recents. The data modules that I use got added to recents. And I can do it, I can use it from here to create my exploration, right? Or I can use it from my content as well, right? But you cannot, by all means, you cannot go to any files and team content to create explorations, okay? This has been blocked, okay? You cannot do it anymore. Yeah, you're gonna get, don't worry, you're gonna get all of the videos, all of the recordings. For right now, let's just watch, right? So Jesus claims on weather data module. What I'm gonna do, see, well, there are more than one way to create a data exploration. You can go here, new, and exploration, right? But if you do it that way, you'll have to specify the data source. What I like to do is I know this is the data that I want to use, and I'm gonna click here, create exploration. I just like it this way. What works for you, you know, might not work for me. What works for me might not work for you. So you do it, whatever works for you, but as long as you get it, the same results, let's say. Now, what do I see here? This is my data exploration, and this is you have to select the starting point. I know that I'm interested in the total claim amount in here, okay? So I'm gonna select the total claim amount, and see this, it's showing me the data source, So that one is a file that I used to create the data module, right? And total claim amount is a column name. I'll just select this and look at what happens here. This one, it shows, it says explore the data relationship. Each column here is represented as a pin. The dark pink color means it's a column of our interest. In this case, it's total claim amount. Other columns are represented as a lighter pins. It does not show all of them. It only shows the columns that have a relationship strength with total claim amount 10% or higher. Anything under 10% is omitted, okay? So I can hover here and I see the column name, right? And then I can hover over the line and I can see the relationship strength. Why is this stuff useful? I can use this as my starting visualization. So I click here, and in this panel here, it shows me which visualizations I might be interested in. Let's add this one, right? Let's add this one. Also, let's add this driver analysis, okay? I'm just gonna add that. Another thing is that you can also select more than one column. See this, so I select this and then I want to select the location code, right? So I can do that and location code. See this, so now it's gonna give me visualizations for the location code and total claim amount. See? It's gonna try to give me visualizations based on what I selected, and I can go see more, etc. Okay. So it's gonna give me, based on what I selected, it's gonna try to give me some related visualizations that I might be interested to look at. Okay, reset to original. Now this one shows only primary relationships. I can edit the diagram to show secondary relationships. Those are relationships among predictors. So it was directly from the column and the total claim amount. But see, sometimes, like for example, see this marital status is related to income, income is related to location code. See this, it's showing the indirect relationships as well. And you can see, you can specify the percentage. The minimum percentage is 10, but you can drag this thing you can drag to show only, see this? I can show only higher than 28%, etc. I can change that. I can adjust this. And I can reset to original, see? That resets to original. Each visualization that you add here is added as a card. This is called a card, see? I added these 3 cards here, right? So you're working on something and you navigated away from what we were just looking at, right? How do you get back to that relationship diagram? See this, it's in here, it's one of the cards. You can always go back to it, it's one of the cards. Now, Yelena has been really bad because she forgot to do what? To save. See this? It says new exploration, I have not saved it. And also there is an asterisk here. If there is a power outage, Yelena is in trouble. She's gonna lose all her work, right? So let's just go ahead and click on save. And I'm just gonna say claims and weather explorations, okay? Claims and weather exploration, right? Explore. It picked up something that I typed earlier. Okay, now, why is this grayed out? Because I cannot write anything to the team content. I have to select my content, okay? And I'm gonna click on save, okay? Always save it. You cannot save it anywhere else. You can only save it to my content. Always has been this way, okay? So now, what else do I have here? Source, okay? So those are the columns in my data. Data groups that I defined are available here. Navigation path that I created is available here, right? Also, remember, I changed the properties for the total claim amount. I changed how this column is being summarized, average, and it's here. I don't need to change it again here. I changed it once, and I use it wherever I need to use it, right? So And same thing, different icon represents different data types, right? But what in the world is this? If I did not use the descriptive name, there is no way to tell how I defined this filter. This is a selectable filter that I can apply when I need to. But there is no way to tell how it's defined without going back to data module if I did not put the descriptive name in here, okay? Now, there are several visualizations. So this is a card, right? So this is a card. Something important, and I also have the video about it. This is something that is related to some of your questions on a quiz. So this is a total claim, average total claim amount for everyone, right? And if you look at this fields in this visualization, this one here, the visualization type is the summary, right? This one here, this is a data slot, and if you see asterisk, it means I must specify the column for this to display, right? It's just an average. Now I'm going to ask you this quiz question. So, a quiz question. What is the average total claim amount in Iowa? How do I answer this question here? So this is my visualization. How do I answer the question? What is the average total claim amount in Iowa? Well, see the state here? I can just expand these values in here and I can drag and drop. See, that's one way. See this? I specified the state is Iowa. I added this filter, right? That's it. Easy. So this is a filter. State is Iowa. Now my next quiz question. What is the average total claim amount in Iowa and if the coverage is basic? How do I do this? I'm gonna add another filter here, right? Bang, here. I got the answer to my question, right? You can add more than one. See, this is gonna take end. See, that's all. I said, the quiz question is, what is the average total claim amount in the state of Iowa for basic coverage type? How do you answer this question? So you have this visualization that shows average. And you're gonna take this filter and that's it. Well, another way to do it, let me remove this filter. Remove. What you could also do it is this. You can go to the state and you can drag and drop the state here and you can explicitly select Iowa. That will do it too, okay? That will do it. So this is how you answer a question. Or I can ask you something like, what is the average total claim amount if you live in a state of Iowa or Missouri, right? So how would you do that one? You would have to go here. So this is a state filter. You're gonna go to filter and you're gonna select Iowa and you're gonna select Missouri and you're gonna click on done, see? And that's your answer, okay? So this is how you do the quiz questions like this. There are a couple quiz questions, okay? And if the quiz asks you how many columns are in data, how do you know that? Remember in data module you saw, or in data itself, see that you're in data exploration locked here, you can just do exploration, you're gonna see all your columns and everybody knows how to count, right? And the data that you open is not gonna have calculations, so it's just gonna be here. It's gonna be the data set name and right under, it's gonna show you the columns. You just count them, that's all, okay? So that one is that visualization. Uh, we have to look at more complex stuff, but how do I create a brand new visualization? I can just click on the create, I can select the card, and I can choose type, and I can choose my visualization type that I want to create. In this case, I want to do the, it's a decision, it's a relationship heat map. I believe it's that one. So let's try this one. Now what? I want to do, I want to show for the rows. Oops, I may have selected, so if I selected the wrong visualization, this is what you do. You click here, right? And you can always change the visualization type that you want to do, okay? You can always change your visualization type. But let's try that. So I go here, I go to that visualization, oops, and what I wanted to show is that I want to use a navigation path. So I'm gonna drag, oops, and drop, oops, nope, that's a wrong visualization. So how do I know it? I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna do, you have to use the visualization that shows the part of the, that shows the, hold on. It's, okay, so it's this one. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you the part of the whole. So for the part of the whole, you can show the, you can use a pie chart. Oh, it's a tree map. I'm sorry, my bad. Tree map, that's what I want to use. Okay, so now for the tree map, I want to use the area hierarchy. So look what I do. I go here, state, rank, and for the size, I want to use the number of people, right? So I'll just go here and I go customer, and it's gonna be the size, okay? So what is this? First of all, how do I know that it shows me number of customers, not the number of claims? If I click here, and if I go to check the summarize, if I check the summarize, what is it doing? Is it doing count or is it doing count distinct? It's summarize, right? You want to check if it's doing count distinct, it's gonna count the number of customers. If you're doing count, it's gonna count the number of claims. It's because each customer may have multiple claims, okay? Now, I mentioned that you can see data being visualized. So I click here and it's going to show me my data that is being visualized. This is just the number of customers within a state. But what I could do, remember this is a hierarchy. So I can click on the Missouri, right? I can click on the Missouri and I can drill down, right? Drill down. And this will show me the number of customers for each location type within Missouri. And if I go here, I can see the data that is being visualized. See this? State is Missouri, location code, and number of customers. See that? So that's just that one. Another visualization that I wanted to show you, I know it's allowed to show, but I'll try to, what do you mean drill down is not available? I created the I created the hierarchy, and this is a visualization type that I selected as a tree map. Tree map. See it? Click here. Now I can go back. I click back. Yes, I click here, and I can go drill down. You can do it, but you have to use a hierarchy. You have to create the navigation path. I created it back in the data module, and I'm using my state for the hierarchy. I'm using state here. So that's why it's available, because I created the hierarchy when we were doing in the data module, and I can reuse it here. It's available. What do you mean you can't click on it? Oh, okay, no worries, no worries. Thank you, no worries, no worries. Yes, you can click on it. Okay, so no worries, you click on it and you get this, right? It's available. Yes, so this is just data being visualized, okay? Cool. So next thing is that a spiral model. I know it's a lot to cover. So for some of the topics, I may leave it to the videos, but let's see how far we get. Because see that, so now I go create new card, and I'm gonna do, the spiral. So, oops. See, they changed where things. Okay, here it is, spiral. For this one, the target is of course what total claim amount, right? So I'll go and I'm gonna drag and drop, and I want to see the total claim amount. I want to minimize this. So what is this? This one shows the drivers. A driver is a column or a combination of columns that can drive the value, okay? That can be used to kind of like predict the value. One-way driver is a single column, two-way driver is a combination of two columns, and combination is more than two. Why is it important? See this? I'm going to unclick this, unclick this. The closer the pin is to the center, the stronger is the relationship. The one-way driver with the highest relationship strength will be used as a first column for the splitting column when we build the decision tree. When you create the decision tree, the one-way driver with the highest strength is going to be used as a first split column. So that's why it's important. But here you cannot do the visualizations for your drivers, right? It's just a bullseye diagram, and you can basically click here, right? But there is another visualization which was already added, which I already added rather, and that's called driver analysis. What is this? It's a bullseye visualization slice. Here, each driver is represented as a circle, and then for each driver you can see visualizations. Total claim amount by employment status is an example. You see the visualizations for that specific driver. The closer the pin to the right, the stronger is the strength, right? The visualization is based on what you exactly looking at, the driver you're looking at. And you can add these visualizations as your card. But what we're really interested in is a decision tree. In the next class, I'm going to be showing the decision tree in more detail. So please don't worry much if it does not make sense right now. There is also a video on the decision tree when the column that you're predicting is a numeric, okay? Next class, I'll show you how to do numeric and the categorical. So don't worry, but in general, see this? I added this, right? I added that tree, and I'm gonna go in here. So in order to demonstrate this, you have to close this. You need to close this panel, and then you need to go, I have to go to the toolbar, and I need to do the full screen, but they changed the buttons. So, oh, full screen, I see it here. Okay, so for this, in order to demonstrate this, I have to be in a full screen. Otherwise, it's very difficult to read the columns. So see here, you traverse the tree from left to right. The whole idea here, I want to predict my total claim amount for the claim, right? So you can collapse this thing, this guy here. I'm gonna collapse that, more collapse. Okay, so basically each tree node represents the same data, the data with the same statistical properties, if you will, right? So remember I told you that the column, the driver, one-way driver with highest predictive strength is used as a force split, which is a location. So how do I read this guy here? I hover. This one, it says that 100% of data falls into this node, and this is the average claim amount, right? The color code of the node shows the total claim amount. Well, not quite color code, the shade, right? The darkness. It's the same color, but the darkness. Okay? Your mind might be thinking if you can change color. No, not in exploration. You cannot change colors in exploration, okay? Okay, so that's the whole data. Then what I do next? I'm gonna ask my question. What is the location? Based on the location, I take the corresponding branch of the tree. Okay, so if location is rural, I take this path, we are done. Because see, there is no line under this node. It means that this node is not expandable. There is no line, I'm done here, okay? Suppose that location is urban. I can expand more. Then what? I'm looking at the vehicle class. If it's a two-door car, we are done. This is the average claim amount. And if it's SUV, we are done also. It does not expand further. So let's collapse this. Let's look at the suburban location. This one is more interesting, right? Vehicle class. Two-door car. This is a SUV and a luxury. Each one can expand further. So how do I read this rule here? So see this one? Let's highlight this rule. Let's read it. So if location is suburban, vehicle class is a tour or 4-day car, coverage type is basic, marital status is married or divorced, then the average total claim amount is 367. See, this is how you read it. So basically, the whole idea is you traverse the tree. Okay? Okay, well, okay, I see the message. Okay, no worries, I will be recording. Please don't worry about the recording. Okay? Okay, so this is just how you would estimate. You would use the tree. Oops, what is it doing? Okay, so how will you use this tree? You will traverse this tree. You start from here, okay? And you go to here. See, you keep going until it no longer expands. What it's doing for numerical target, it's using what's called the information gain. It's trying to check, okay, can I gain more information if I select another splitting column? Then there is a limit on number of nodes. I believe it's 32. Then each terminal node, right, each leaf node, it cannot have less than 25 records associated with it, okay? So that's that. Here, the decision tree, it shows you, it visualizes the rules. There is another visualization here that can show the percentage of rules to which, the percentage of data to which the rule apply. See, this is a sunburst, right? So in this case, I expanded just the first node, sunburst. It's gonna show me, see, this is a slice, the percentage of urban 63, or suburban 63. This is urban and rural, right? So most of my data is suburban. I can click here to expand further. Now it's gonna show the vehicle class, right? I can expand collapse. And as I expand this, my tree gets expanded and collapsed. So you may need to play around with the zoom setting because you want to take a good screenshot for your assignment submission, right? So see, now it shows really good part of the tree. You have to play around with it. You want to do the full screen. When you get to this, trust me, I'm gonna go over this topic again, okay? Yes, no worries. The session is 2 hours, but no worries, you're gonna have a recording. We might not even hit 2 hours, but please, guys, I want you to not worry. I want you to be happy. I want you to enjoy the application. I love the Cognos application, okay? Now you're gonna save the work. Please, no worries. And here you can just read the rules in English language. I know, guys, you're gonna hate me by the end of this session, but I'm not gonna hate anyone. I love it. I still love doing this. Okay? So this is you can read this. If location code is suburban, if vehicle class is luxury, employment status, this is expected predicted value. Okay? This is how you would read those rules. But please, I don't want you to worry about it. I want you to enjoy and learn. See, it's fun. Okay? Now, so that's that. I'm gonna exit the full screen. Okay. It says exploration, but I did not cover these topics necessarily in order. I didn't necessarily cover them in order, but I covered it, okay? I covered it. This is just spelled out, it's information for you. You can read it, right? Just at your leisure, you can have it. There is a guy here that's called embedded assistant. So let's see what's happening here. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna add a new card, just add a new card. So here, this guy is assistant. Take a look. I click on assistant. You can use it from the home page, but why do I like to use it here? Because it already knows what data I'm working with, right? See this? It already knows that I'm working with this claims and weather data module. See, it picked up the data that I have open, right? So now what? I can change, I can learn more about this assistant, or I can see it, I can learn more about this data, right? So this is little bit this is a little bit different from, okay, so now take a look at this. I can do something like, let's see, let's do show, let's do this. Let's do recommend questions, right? Or show questions, something like that. Show questions. Oops. Recommended questions or something like that. Let's type questions. Questions. Right? So you can type questions. Let's see what it does. Okay, see this when I type questions, it's gonna give me suggested questions about my data. For example, see this I can say which location code has top total claim amount, bank. See? And it's giving me the answers. So basically, I'm asking the questions in English language and it's giving me the answers. Here in this version, it's a little bit different from what it was in the other version that we used last semester. But see this, you type questions and it's going to give you the suggested questions. So see here, compare total claim, right? Or you can compare average income and average premium size by auto size. And see, it gives me visualizations. And I can also take these visualizations and I can drag and drop them to my exploration. See this? I can drag and drop and use these visualizations in my exploration, okay? But you can also see, I believe it's a show column, right? And then I can type the column name. If you show column and type the column name, right, like employment status, let's see what it's gonna do. It's gonna show the column properties. If you type show column and column name, right, like I just did, it's gonna show the column properties. I put some screenshot of the sample commands. And here it just showing you more. You can explore, see this? Location code, those are showing me the related columns that I might be interested in, okay? I may have to redo the screenshots because it's a little bit different. It's more elaborate in this version than the version we used last semester. But it's just showing you're asking questions in natural language and it's trying to give you the answers, okay? So that's what it is. And you can use the visualizations from Assistant, okay? And it's used to show the properties of the data, etc. These are different visualizations that you can look at. And once you have that visualization, you can go to fields and you can change which fields you use to visualize, right? You can add more to it. You can apply filters, etc. When you look at these visualizations, you can see it's going to show you related visualizations and you can see the visualizations that are related to what you are currently looking at. That's what I was telling you earlier, okay? So these are just some examples, but very important part that's gonna be your friend. I created the videos playlist. Okay, when you look at the first video in the playlist, I'm gonna try to re-record because there are slight changes. The changes are not major, but there are slight changes in a welcome page. But those videos are broken down. Like for example, there is a video on how to create data explorations. There is a video on how to handle missing values for numeric columns, etc. So this is a playlist and I'm gonna be adding to it. But you have this playlist of videos, okay? If there is something that you want to see, I can create new videos on more topics, okay? What is this? Oh, insights. It will explain the insights. Excellent, excellent. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It can show you the insights that you're looking at. Yes. And it's a lot to cover, but do you see this? Those are the 5. I click on this and it's going to give me the insights. See? This is very interesting. See this? And you can read that. But the thing is, are you not going to copy this into your paper? You want to be yourself, right? You may have some observations that people who worked with the same data before you have not noticed, right? You want to be you. It's your paper. It's not going to be me doing the work. Me and Oscar will help you, but no way in the world we cannot do the work for you, because then your instructor is going to submit the Salesforce ticket to add you to the gradebook, because you get the grade, not we get the grade, not you, right? So let me see. I thought I saw the question. Well, no worries. So you're gonna have this recording, and please mark your calendar. In 4 weeks from now, you're gonna have another class, and I'm gonna be discussing the decision trees when you predicting the categorical column, when you're predicting the numeric. I'm gonna be showing you how to do dashboards, and I'm gonna be showing you how to create stories. Okay? So please, please, please make sure to attend, because it's easier this way. Okay? So, but for today, let's see if we have more questions. I know it's a lot. I know. I hope I didn't overwhelm you. I'm trying to help, you know. And also, if you guys took the courses on campus, they are 3 hours long. So this is not as usual. When I was a student, there were a couple courses that I took on campus, and they were 3 hours long. Okay, so yes, you will be reviewing, and please, please, I don't want you to worry about anything, okay? You will be reviewing it, and you have a set of videos. I will need to re-record the first video because the welcome page is different, but guys, please don't worry about anything. And what I'll do is you're gonna have I'm gonna email the recording and the slides to the faculties. They're gonna post an announcement. But if you would like me to email the presentation to you also, I can do that, no problem. Okay. Okay. The due date. You would need to go to the assignment folder. I believe they're in assignment folder, right? The due dates. Yes. So the due date, you have to look at the assignment folder, and I believe they should show in a calendar. So if I go to, so I'm in as a student, if I go to course home, and if you see here, that shows what I have coming up. See, this shows what I have coming up. I'm looking at this session right now, but it's pretty much the same for other sessions as well. See that? You see it here, what you have coming up, right? So content, and if there is something in the content that you cannot see right away, see this, you can search the content here. You can search. Like for example, if you want to search for something like calculation, you can run the search. Right now it's no result. But if I go and do something like Cognos, it's gonna give me all locations in the course content that have something about Cognos. See, it's gonna give me all locations in the content that have something about Cognos. This is how you could do the search. See? There is something in Unit 2 that talks about Cognos. This is how you use the search. This is not anywhere in the Leo tutorials, but I'm just showing you. If you're trying to find something in the classroom, you can type the search here, and it will give you all locations in a content where the topic is discussed. Okay, I'm just showing you. Okay, it's not in a Leo introduction. Okay. Okay, so what is this? I see some questions, so I'm looking. You said your faculty member never did login. I don't know. I need to check because I do not have access to post announcements. But what I could do is I can email you all. No problem. That's easy. Okay. But the slides that I'm gonna give you, they have the login information. They have instructions. You still can access virtual lab. Oh, that one, do you have Mac? So yes, I have seen the case, and we're doing some research. Me and Oscar, we're trying to see what's going on, because uh what happened is you have to first of all try to clear your browser cache, okay? That part of it. Then make sure that you have you're not using the your work PC. It has to be a home PC. You're not connected to the work network because some employers block it. You want to make sure that you're not disabling any add-ons, okay? But if that does not work, then we're gonna give you the direct link to the system, okay? Yes, you don't want to use a VPN. This is very important. You cannot be signed into VPN. This is not gonna work, okay? You want to be using your home PC, which is what I'm doing right now, and I'm not connected to any employer. So what I want you to do is I want you to check other pages in the course content, okay? Other pages that use in the iframe and see if you can use that here. If you're having the same problems in these pages, then it's your browser, okay? Check these pages too. If you don't get them to work, then well, it's probably your browser, okay? Make sure your browser version is the latest. What else can I suggest? Trying to think. Okay? No VPN. Okay? Any other questions? Questions. Please let me see messages. Go over quiz? Well, okay. Assignments. Trying to think. Well, if you have login issues, you're gonna submit the. If you have login issues, you're gonna submit the ticket, right? And we're gonna work with you. Please make sure that you type the password correctly, okay? For the quiz, for that quiz, you need to do the walkthrough first. And basically the questions are about that insurance data. So please make sure you work with insurance data, you work with the data, you explore it, you'll be fine. If you do what you're asked to do, you will be fine, all right? How much time do you have to finish? Well, I think there is no limit. I think there is no time limit on a quiz. The only time when it reaches the limit is when your session it gets idle. All right. But for the assignments, you use the data is already there for you. You need to make a copy to my content, right? And just read the instructions and just follow what it says in the instructions. Right? But quiz is not, there is no time limit on the quiz. Okay. Each assignment is different. I would have to look at the specific assignment. Okay. What is this? Let me see. Let me see something. I'm trying to look at the question. Okay, yes. Yeah, you have, it depends on what session you are. There are 7 sessions. Okay, there are 7 sessions of this course right now, and there will be more starting in several weeks. Okay. But please do this as troubleshooting. Do you see this piece here of the classroom, right? If you do not, then it's probably a problem with browser, okay? Make sure you see this. You go to the similar pages, right? To see this virtual lab environment. See this, it's a page like this, right? Do you see, are you able to view the content of pages like this? Like, see, this is a unit 1 summary. Are you able to view this page, see? You want to try to see if any other pages in the content give you new problem, okay? So that's what you do, you check it, okay? But I know that the accounts have been created, and if you accessing it right, and if for some reason you still cannot log in, that TA, the first step Oscar is gonna do is he's gonna check if your username and password is working. If not, it's gonna come to me, I'll fix it. Another important thing is that this, when you log in, right, I'm gonna close this. So when you log in, when you're at the home page, you want to make sure that in the team content, make sure that you see these files. If you don't see these files, then you put a ticket in, explain that you cannot see anything in team content, easy fix. I know how to fix it. There is another permission that I need to add. There is a group that I need to add you to, okay? So if you don't see anything in the team content, it's an easy fix. I know how to fix it, okay? I try to do it right, but once in a while a student or two gets missed. So make sure you see the team content, these files, this folder. If you do not, easy fix, but I need to know who cannot, All right? But please, please don't worry about anything. I want you to learn this software and I want you to enjoy this. Okay, this is probably gonna be your favorite course because you're not writing code. Well, okay, let me see. I'm trying to see more messages. Oh, okay. So, but okay, so I guess if no more questions, let me see. Question, please remind students. What? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to tell you the most important thing. Very important, how you log out of Cognos. So I'm done, all right? I'm done for today. What am I going to do? Am I going to go ahead and close this browser tab? No, I'm not going to go ahead and close this browser tab. Why? Next, on my next login, I'm going to have issues. So first, what I need to do to log out, I want to make sure I have everything closed. This is a switcher. I'm going to close this. I have everything closed right now. It's gone, right? Next step, what I'm gonna do is I need to log out. Do not close the browser tab. Do not do this. Go here and click on log out. This is how you exit the session. Log out. Next thing, you're gonna click on here and you're gonna log out here also, right? See this log out, it's here. You're gonna click on this X to log out and you're gonna select log out. This is very important. You're going to select logout. That's it. This is how you exit and you're going to go back to this page. People, please make a note. This is a direct URL. If for some unknown reason that page with a link in a classroom does not work, this is a URL that you can take, right? You can take this direct URL in another browser window, okay? And you paste this. Oops. It does not let me paste it as a URL, but that's a URL, right? And this is a shortcut for the Cognos. You can do it this way too, okay? Oops, I have to do it, put it to everyone. That's a URL to the Citrix workspace, okay? This is a Citrix workspace. So this is the URL of this thing. You can just use this URL in the worst case scenario. And then you would have to click on a shortcut and click open, okay? For
Okay,
you,
what
it
do you
might not,
fucking say?
huh? Or you can go to applications and find the Cognos. That's another way to access. But to make life easier, they put the link straight in the classroom. You should be using it in the classroom, okay? And also, another step is to log out from here. Log off from here, okay? You have to log off all the way, okay? I tried to log out, but it says what? How do you know that you saved everything? Huh? What do you mean to record your work? Well, what do you mean? What do you mean it will not let you exit? How do you know if you saved everything? Huh? You have to save everything. How do you know? You have to save everything. You need to close. If you see that you have to close all the files, so let me open again. Let me load this again. You have to close all the files. You have to save them and close them. Okay, so you saw that switcher, right? So it's launching application. Did you see that switcher at the top? You want to make sure there is nothing in there that's open. At the top. Yes, you want to make sure that nothing has an asterisk, okay? Oops. Oops, now I launched the wrong one. So anyways, at the top, you're gonna see what you have opened, right? I don't like to use that shortcut, so let's log out. I should be the right way to do is to use the link in the classroom, okay? You're gonna go to the classroom and it's gonna take you straight, okay? Then in your classroom, there are explicit instructions. I asked them to put it in here. I asked them to put instructions to exit Cognos Analytics. It's right here for you. Do you see that? When you click on the switcher, you want to make sure that there is nothing. See this here, you have one item open. See this? You click on the switcher, at the top, it's gonna show. It says here, one item open, you want to click on it, and you want to close it, see? You have to click on this arrow, and you want to close everything before you exit. Then, you're gonna select logout, see? I was the one who actually did the screenshot, and I asked them to put it here, okay? So this is how you exit. Very important, the instructions are in the classroom. Okay. Video, well, I think some instructions, some assignments require video, some assignments do not. I don't think it's a video, I think it's a presentation. I need to look it up. But if it's a video, if you have to do a video, you can create free Zoom account and up to 40 minutes you record for free, right? You can do recording 40 minutes, no longer than 40 minutes. But trust me, there will be nothing that requires you more than 40 minutes, okay? Okay, so any other questions, guys? No, ask, please ask. So in a classroom, you have instructions on how to exit. Yes, so I asked them to put that, so because that way, you will make sure that you exit correctly. You're not gonna close the tab. That's not good. Next time I try to exit, I try to access, and it's not gonna do anything. It's gonna create problems. We don't want to create problems. We want to solve problems, right? Any questions, guys? I think I went through the whole chat. So you have to look at the assignment. Sometimes it's a paper, sometimes it's a presentation. Okay? Anything else, guys, you want me to explain? I know I talked a lot. All right. So I guess you're gonna have the recording and a slide. Okay? So I want to thank you guys all, and please mark your calendar. We're gonna have another class in 4 weeks. Okay? Thank you, everybody, and I'm gonna add the recording. Recording. Stop recording. Okay.